Hello and welcome to my take on your Daily 5 for the 3rd of December. My name is Julius de Kempenaer and I will be hosting today's show. For those of you who don't know me, I am a senior analyst here at StockCharts.com and the creator of relative rotation graphs, or RRGs as they are commonly referred to. You can find my contributions in the RRG blog on the site. And if you would like to be kept in the loop on everything that has to do with sector rotation and relative strength, please subscribe through the link below each article. Every Tuesday, I host Sector Spotlight from 10:30 to 11 a.m. Eastern on StockCharts television. Again, if anything related to sector rotation and relative strength has your interest, please tune in or watch the replays on the StockCharts YouTube channel. I do enjoy the interaction with viewers and readers, so if you have anything to say, please do so in the comment section below articles and videos, or simply drop me a message via email. For now, let's have a look at what I've found for you today. On my daily journey to solve the puzzle of financial markets, it will not be surprised given my background that I start with looking at a relative rotation graph for US sectors in this case. At the end of the month, I like to look at monthly charts that just got completed, and this timing for this show is great because we just finished the month of November. And just as a quick reminder, I bring up the monthly chart for the S&P 500, and what you see here is that we are clearly in this uptrend still, and at the monthly close we actually broke two new highs. For the first few trading days that are on the way now, we managed to stay above that level. So the bigger picture for me is that the market is still in an uptrend. I mean, a monthly bar to new highs is usually a pretty bullish sign. Now, if we go over the various sectors, and I do this more in depth in my Tuesday sector spotlight show, there's a few sectors that I would draw your attention to. Obviously, that's the energy sector. Big on a momentum play right now, but far away to the left, so I'm still holding back a little bit on that one. Then there is financials, which is actually starting to improve more and more, and it's about to cross over into the leading quadrant. So that's a very interesting sector for the time being and going into the month of December. And then there is communication services. This is also interesting from a seasonal point of view. And last Tuesday's show, that's the last show before the new month. I always look at seasonality for sectors, and communication services popped up as a potentially interesting sector for the month of December because it has a tendency to perform well. And we see that also happening on the RRG, where the tail of XLC has just curled back up, inside weakening with a very short stint through lagging, and now on its way back up to lagging. Back up to leading. Now, on the other side, we have technology. We've been monitoring the technology sector for a while from a negative point of view, actually. It's in weakening and it's continuing further to the left. It looks as if it's losing a bit of its downside momentum right now, but from a seasonal point of view, technology usually is a weak performer in the month of December. So I'm going to remain cautious with technology stocks. Then there is consumer staples, which is actually rolling over inside the improving quadrant, and that we know that is usually not a good sign. So I'm going to be very careful with consumer staples. And then finally we have consumer discretionary, which is tracking or trailing, I must say, the technology sector. So be careful there as well. For some stock picks, I'd like to focus on the communication services sector and on the consumer staples sector from a negative point of view, because I think that that's where we got the most interesting charts. Now, to do that, I bring up the RRG for the consumer staples sector, and I can actually toggle through all the individual tails and pick the tails that I really like, and or not really like in the case of staples. And in the case of staples, what I am looking, the stocks that I'm actually looking for, one of them is PG, Procter Gamble. It's inside the weakening quadrant and it's accelerating towards lagging. And if we bring that up on a normal chart, you can see why that is. We've had this nice run up, stalling, and we're hovering above this support level, which, if it breaks, most likely will cause an acceleration back down to the 125 level. And what is also worrisome or weak is the picture in the relative strength line, which has put in a new lower high and is about to break to new lows. And that is picked up by the RRG lines, which are positioning Procter & Gamble inside that weakening quadrant, moving further down on both scales. So I'd be very careful with Procter & Gamble. Second stock in the staples sector that I want to highlight is HRL, that is Hormel Foods Group. And if we look at the tail on the RRG, you see that it's inside lagging. It improved a little bit, but now it hooked back to the left, which is a negative. And we can actually see why that is happening. This is ahead of PG. It's completing this double top, big double top on the price chart, and it's now breaking below support on the relative chart. So I'm going to expect an acceleration both in price and time for Hormel Foods, for HRL, and that will push the trail further into the lagging quadrant. And then finally, some interesting stocks in the communication services sector. It's pretty much one stock that is standing out, and that's Google. I know it is the communication services sector, but still, you want to be right on that one. And if you look at Google, this is breaking to new highs on both price and relative strength. It didn't do much for a while, but now it's breaking to new highs, and that is pushing Google further into the leading quadrant. And with this upward break in price, I think that Google will drive the communication services sector higher in the weeks to come. Now, another interesting stock, because it's not only Google, is News Corp. And if you look at News Corp, that is inside weakening, but curling back up. And that makes it a very interesting stock to watch. And if we look at the price chart, then we know why that is. It actually broke to new highs, very powerful. And if you look at the relative strength, it has come out of that doldrums, out of that downtrend, and the turnaround seems to be in place right now with taking out that previous high. So News Corp is going to be watched from a positive point of view together with Google inside the communication services sector. And that concludes my daily 5 for you. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and if you did, you know what to do. For now, stay safe and be careful with your investments. I hope to see you soon at the next episode of your Daily 5.
Hey, Grayson Rose here with StockCharts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're going to bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.